So now most attendees are online, and I would like to welcome you again to our webinar of today. The topic today will be email conversion to PDFA, so how to use or deploy PDFA in order to convert emails into a long-term safe archiving format. I will do this webinar together with my colleague Armin. So Armin is on the right side, at least you can see a picture, as the webinar is not visible really in the internet, and I'm on the left side. I would also like to introduce myself. My name is Thomas Silman. I'm working here for LuraTech. I'm responsible for sales, and I'm also the managing director of the PDF Association, which is covering ISO PDF standards like PDFA. I will do the webinar together with our CTO, Armin Ortmann, and Armin will introduce himself now and also give you some practical hints how to use the webinar and raise some questions. Armin, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Thomas. Also a warm welcome from my side. The technicalities are as follows. Those of you who have participated in our webinars before may know all of that. Anyway, you may have noticed you are on mute. It means you cannot post questions directly, but you can enter questions in that questions box in your GoToMeeting software window, and we will do our best to answer questions entered there during the webinar. Our experience shows that it's not always possible. Also, some of the questions are very detailed and really give rise to technical discussions, so we would then prefer to take those questions offline, which does not mean we don't want to answer them. If we don't get to your question in the course of the webinar, we will do our best to get back to you via email in the aftermath and leave no questions unanswered. On the same note, if something occurs to you right after the webinar or at any other time, feel free to contact us via the support email addresses shown during the webinar or on our website, or just give us a phone call and we'll be there to address your questions regarding PDF and PDFA and conversion and the PDF compressor and our other products. Also, we will make a recording of this webinar, which will be available to all participants. We'll put it online and send you a link, and we'll also make the presentation slides by Thomas available. And last but not least, there is our questionnaire. It's showing up at the end of the webinar. Just a handful of questions, should not take more than 2 minutes to answer, and that's your means of giving us some feedback and our means of getting feedback in order to continually improve our webinar and work on it for future webinars by LuraTech. So enough from my side. I'm going to hand over back to Thomas for the presentation and then get back to you later for the technical demonstration.
Yes, thank you, Armin, for the introduction. So I will start with some general remarks and arguments for email archiving, which hopefully gives you a good introduction. And then, as Armin said, he will take over. The start will be a short introduction about LuraTech, in case you do not know LuraTech as a company so far. So here are the main points where I would like to summarize this. So on the one hand, as a company, as our focus, as our expertise, we are specialists for document conversion, mainly PDF and PDFA. So this is where LuraTech has expertise, has know-how with our developers and also products and solutions, obviously. And this comes down to mainly 2 product families, and we will see one of them today. So the one main product is our LuraTech PDF compressor. So this is a complete tool in order to convert scanned documents on the one hand, as well as digital documents and emails, they belong to digital documents, into PDF or PDFA files, long-term safe, and for scanned documents also compression and full text searchability through OCR is important, but with emails we are more on the conversion side, the focus is more there. Not the topic of today, but to briefly mention this is our second product family, where the product name is Dockyard, which is a complete production management platform to cover the whole input management with a special focus on scan service bureaus. So when you do a complete input management, then Dockyard can start with the paper things, control those, and obviously if necessary or part of this input management, then the email conversion is possible as well. But we have other webinars where you're also welcome to attend if you want to learn more about Dockyard. When we start with the topic of today, email, and therefore I want to start just short with a little bit of terminology, so this may be used different in your organization, so just so you have a common base. So we like to separate or differentiate between email archiving and email management. With email archiving, very often you see solutions in the market which are typically hardware-based, so there's typically application servers or things like that which allow a complete email recording. So this box typically sits at your entrance door, if you think a little bit logical, or to put it in a logical point of view, and every incoming mail is stored there, very often for compliance reasons. So depending what your organization, what your company is doing, you may have strong or not so strong compliance rules. So every mail is stored there. This includes spam, virus, things like that. But in case somebody, in the worst case, sues you for, hey, I sent you this mail today, and in 3 months you did not answer and missed the deadline. This is also on the archiving level, but there we are talking from what I would like to call the net business mails, so the mails where really your business partners communicate with you, mails which have content for your business which you want to save in your archives, want to have in a safe format, in a long-term format, and there obviously the conversion to PDF-A is a good thing to do, as we can hopefully show you during our webinar today. And when we talk about, or what we call email management, this is much more. So I don't want to go into the details here, but just that you can put it into the full context. So if you're thinking about a project of email archiving, then PDF-A is a great thing. I love it, but I want to mention, or we want to mention, that you want to consider all the other points which comes with an email archiving and management project. So you have to think about the organizational things. How do you handle emails? Does each single employee decide whether this is a valuable mail which goes into the archive, or do you want to do it on a central base with every business mail? You want to have policies, what happens with internal mails, external mails, mails which are sent, mails which are received. Obviously you may have workflows, so it may go into a full digital mailroom solution or incoming input management solution. So you may have already in place to a digital mailroom for the paper, so all the paper mail receive, all the faxes which arrive in your organization, and this may also want to cover the email things, so in order to have a really common view, because from your customer's point of view, I sent you something and I don't care whether I sent a mail to you or a paper. I want, if I talk to your employee, then I want to talk about my customer, my insurance contract, or whatever your company is doing in business. This also includes security aspects, you know, all the things with spam, virus, things like that, spam handling, private mails, and typically what we know from a lot of our customers which are doing already email archiving and email conversion, at the end, obviously you want to have an integrated application. Very often this is a document management system or an EMS, ECM system, where then you have the customer folder or the project folder where all the paper, maybe scanned, maybe sent via mail, and all the emails belonging to this project, for example, go into one central piece so that every employee has full access to the whole folder, to the whole project, if I stay to this sample. When we look to emails at the more technical format level, basically you know it, but just to have an Also, just a short review here. So a mail typically consists of a more technical header, so the sender, the receiver, the nodes where the mail went. This is, let's say, traffic information. And you also know this is far away from safe, so everything goes, nothing is safe. So just think of spam mails, and it's very common with spam mails to fake the sender address, as we receive them every day and we all do not really like them. But then we have what really makes the mail, the content of the mail, which is typically the body. So the body is a pure text, which I or you type in a mail, which has different levels depending on the mail client. So also we see that the topic has some technical complex, no, not tricks, but issues we want to think of. So maybe if it's an old mail client, just plain ASCII, typically is formatted text or goes up to HTML, just think of newsletters or things like that. And this also means in a mail there can be multiple presentations. So if you send me a wonderful newsletter in HTML format and I have a very old mail client, then I just may or can are able to see it in plain ASCII. So there may be alternate forms. And this, when we look from the archiving point of view, you may want to think what is really the original mail you want to archive to handle in your system. And then we have the wonderful world of attachments, where you have the, or you have it, the whole format too. You all know it from daily business. So the business mails typically contain Microsoft or OpenOffice attachments. Lots of PDFs are flying around in the mail world, but there are also maybe more exotic formats, I would call it. You may receive CAD files, application files, things like that. You have the group of what we call the executables. You all know this: Excel, batch, and scripts. In the good case, this is some sensible thing and not a virus. And you may also receive packaged things. So you also know that, zip, tar files, things like that, where you also want to think, am I fine with having the complete zip, and if I need it, I will sort it out, or do you want to really archive the single contained documents, business documents already? So this also raises some challenges of email archiving. So yes, on one goal, it's business documents, so you want to store them for a long time, as long as the customer folder, customer relationship exists, and even longer for compliance reasons. But what do you archive them? So the mail as it is sent or as it is received, is it a data stream? How does it look like in different mail clients? Typically the differences are minor, but you can easily imagine that a mail in Thunderbird looks different than Outlook, and something you want to make sure that you can read this document in 1 year from now, in 10 years from now, or even in a longer time frame. And also email is moving fast, so yesterday, today, tomorrow, so 10 years is quite a long time. Things change, views change, and will you really be able to review this in 10 years from now, where the software application changes, so Microsoft Office 2020 will show up someday, or is there a viewer available at all? So on the one hand, this is our, what I would call the best practice in order to reach the goals of integrity, authenticity, and safe visual reproduction. This is what we call a dual strategy, and this has proven in a lot of real-world applications already. So on the one hand, you may want to save the email data stream, so just as it comes in, and then, as I said in the beginning, a hardware-based solution, email recording, may be a good way to do that. And then on the other hand, you have what I call the net business mails. So they want to have something like a digital printout. So you want to, and this is where PDFA comes into the game, have a conversion of this email to PDFA in order to reach a long-term safe reproduction. And you also want to convert the attachments if it's possible. It's not always possible. So for a video file, you may want to think about policies. How do you handle this? Is this important for your business videos, or can you say to your customers, we accept document formats like Office, but no video files? So if possible, it's also a good practice to limit those accepted formats, but obviously this depends on your organization and also on your market position. And another best practice, and I want to mention that, is today is the best point in time for conversion. So if you do the whole processing and have a late archiving in 3-6 months and you encounter any technical problem, this file is cannot be opened, things like that, and it's much more difficult to do it in 6 months from now. And then therefore this is best practice, is a good day to do it today. So if you receive something, then you can immediately sort out what you want to do with an unknown attachment, an unknown file type, things like that. So why PDF-A? So I'm sure you have heard about PDF-A already. So PDF-A is PDF as you know it, but the ISO standard for archiving, for long-term archiving. It's a worldwide ISO standard since 2005, so it's already heavily in use for scanned documents, for internal office documents, things like that, and we see more and more users and applications which go with email archiving, email conversion for PDF-A. PDF-A has multiple parts. Armin will show some nice examples of that and show what the options and possibilities are to when you go for email conversion. But the main goal is to have a long-term safe preservation format for your important business emails. And there are some principles like technical details which make sure that this PDF-A file can always represent it as it was received today. When we look into the third part of PDF-A, so as I said, there are multiple parts. So ISO on the one hand said in 2005, PDF-A, how we define it now in 2005 or back in 2005, will never become invalid. This would be something a little bit crazy for long-term archiving standard. But on the other hand, ISO already recognized in the early stages of the standardization, the world goes on, and this we want to deploy useful features which will come up in the years, and therefore ISO handles it through parts. So there's a PDF-A part 1, which is the original or the first one from 2005, and back in 2012 PDF-A part 3 was introduced, so the third part of the PDF-A standard. From the technical point of view, it's rather boring, so it only adds one feature. What PDF could do for a long time already is you can embed any file or files, multiple files, but this opens new application areas, and especially for email, as we will see in the practical examples, this is pretty interesting. Also, I want to mention, this is sometimes a little bit not confusing, but should be clear. So when you convert to a PDF-A3 file, then the guarantee is for the long-term save is the PDF-A part. So everything which is converted into PDF-A, obviously, and this is nice from a practical point of view, you can embed the video file into the PDF-A3 file, but the video does not get long-term saved by this. This would be other standards which cover our audio or video information. So there are now with PDF-A3 many new applications. One good example is electronic invoices, just to give you another idea. So you receive, or I send you an invoice, this is still a PDF file, so you can open and print it quite easily, but the new thing is it can have an embedded XML data with all the invoice positions. So if you don't want to process this invoice manually, you just pick up the XML file and can do it automatically in your typically ERP system. For emails, there are multiple options, which I think will become much clearer when Armin presents this in a minute. So that you can embed the source file, which is all the attachments, or you can even embed the complete .msg file or the .eml file and all the attachments. And also for signed mails, this is an interesting option because you can preserve the original signed PDF attachment, for example. Now we are moving to the presentation. So what Armin will show is our PDF compressor in the newest version, 7.1. We did a lot of work, so we're doing this for a long time, but we invested a lot of work in order to make the email conversion much simpler and much easier, as you will see. and you will see something in the user interface, but there are also a lot of technical improvements in the engine. So this is something you cannot see in the engine, but Armin will give you some hints where the technical improvement and details really help to make email conversion much simpler. So then I will switch over to Armin for the presentation. If I can find him.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how things work with the upcoming PDF compressor version 7.1. So that is yet another update to the major 7.0 release we recently finished. First, a few disclaimers. I'm going to concentrate on a very few aspects here. There is much more to general conversion of born digital, i.e. Office and PDF files to PDF-A. We can certainly not present all the details here. I've just prepared two little sample files to show you a few things that are new with the upcoming version. First of all, it's noteworthy that up to now we were able to convert MSG files, i.e. native Microsoft Office Outlook format only. With the new version, we'll also be able to convert EML files and actually to convert them all in one go. So if I go here into the settings of this readily prepared conversion job, I hope you can see this okay. This is the input folder. That's the one that holds one MSG and one EML file. Maybe we'll take a quick look at those files. EML is the more common format. On my machine it's configured to open up with the Thunderbird mail client. So you can see here just a little text, blah blah blah, signature of course, and one Word document, one Excel sheet, and actually the presentation from just this webinar. And if I double click on one of the attachments, it will open in Microsoft Excel. You see pretty generic Excel sheet with a few figures and two diagrams, actually a few tables, and so on. That's the one example. The other one, the MSG, is even more simple. It just contains the PowerPoint slide in order to be processed live during this webinar. Well, if it would at least open up. You see Outlook takes a moment, but there it is. Okay, so again, pretty straightforward mail message with the PowerPoint slides as an attachment. And what I actually wanted to do is run this in the PDF compressor. You see I have the Born Digital option installed. It offers a range of Office formats where I have selected email. This will automatically ingest all EML and MSG files from the configured folder. It will place the output right back into that folder, and it will create PDF-A to you. And that's where we can actually start. And next thing you see is that the PDF compressor on my machine starts to convert the two files actually simultaneously. To present a few details on what Thomas has explained on the various compliance levels or versions, if you will, of PDF-A, I have actually prepared a few samples. So with PDF-A, you are not able to attach PDF-A1. You are not able to attach any documents to a PDF-A1 file. So if I open up this sample file in the in Adobe Reader, I see no attachments. What I do see is a few bookmarks because the attachments have been inserted as PDF pages themselves. So the presentation, for example, starts here on page 3. Page 2 is actually this fax document resulting from the Word file. And here you have the pages of the presentation, and the last page actually consists of the converted Excel sheet as we just saw it. And in order to distinguish what was the original email body and which pages belong to which attachment, you have these bookmarks here where you can basically jump to the first page of every attachment. That would be the optimum of conversion with PDF-A1. Now with PDF-A2, and that's actually what I just ran, you see it's finished in the meantime, so we can actually take the sample I just created. You also see it from the modification time here. It's fresh. And this one, PDF-A2U actually, which is one of the really recommended formats because the U means everything's properly Unicode and coded. You see only one page in the actual PDF file. You still see bookmarks, but actually the bookmarks refer to other PDF files which have been embedded. So what we do here is we recreate the attachment structure of the original email in the PDF-A document, and that's only possible with PDF-A2. Okay, so if I double click here, I get a PDF-A version of the original Word attachment. Again, you see here, this is also PDF-A2U, so you're actually not losing any kind of archiving quality with this kind of conversion. And with PDF-A3, you have the added benefit. Again, I'm going to show you a prepared example. I'm not going to run this live here. With PDF-A3, you get the chance to append arbitrary document formats. So you're not forced to convert email attachments to PDF-A documents, which can then be attached to the main document, but you can embed them in their original format. So if I double click here, I'm being prompted and can again open up the Excel sheet in pretty much the same way as it would open up if I double click it from the original email file. And you don't lose, with PDF-A3, you don't lose the ability to append PDF documents or PDF-A documents as well. In fact, you could even append the EML or MSG source file that contained the attachments in the first place. So basically, PDF-A3 gives you all the options, which actually you can see in this example, which again I have prepared. So this is again PDF-A3 as shown here. It contains the attachments converted to pages, and in addition contains the EML file that was the source of the whole affair. So if I double click this here, the file will again open up in Thunderbird and will still bear its original attachment. So basically you have preserved everything that you had in the first place, but in order to access it in that fashion, you not only need a mail client, but you also need the Office applications to open up these files. Speaking of Office applications, our current version of PDF Compressor requires Microsoft Office Outlook to be present on the system where the conversion takes place. So you have to install Outlook, and actually you have to have a server operating system in order to run Outlook in dedicated user sessions, and you have to install Microsoft Office or OpenOffice as well. From that, we have eliminated the need to install Outlook. We have eliminated the need for a server operating system. So as you see here, I'm showing this live on my plain vanilla Windows 7 professional system. You could probably even use any other Windows operating system such as Windows 8 or Windows 7 Home or whatever. So you don't need a server operating system anymore. Still, in order to process this entire range of input formats, and of course all of them can occur as email attachments and are then processed as well, you need an Office application installed on the system, which preferably should be Microsoft Office, i.e. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Alternatively, you can install OpenOffice, which is also able, for example, to open doc files in the OpenOffice Writer. But as we know from experience, your mileage may vary, meaning sometimes these applications render the non-native format with slight differences, which may not be a big problem, which may be annoying. It really, really depends. Okay. As I said, PDF A3 actually gives you the full range of options in terms of how to convert email attachments to PDF-A. We have, with this new version, actually implemented all of these options, where the default is what I've just shown you. The default is for PDF-A1, convert everything to PDF pages, append it to the main document, and reference it via bookmarks. For PDF-A2, it would be convert everything to PDF-A2, but keep email attachments in the shape of PDF attachments to the PDF output document. With PDF-A3, the default is to keep all attachments in their original document format and just append them. And of course, an alternative would be to just plain ignore attachments. This may be useful in certain contexts where, for example, you know all of the attachments are of no value for your archiving tasks. They may all be video files, or they may all be binary files where there is no sensible means of converting them to PDF-A, or where they just take too much space to actually clutter your archive. And you have this specific conversion option where you see one is disabled. That is because it's not possible with PDF-A2, so I'll switch to PDF-A3, and then you see here you have all three mentioned options, which is embed attachments in the original format, embed attachments as PDF attachments, or just append pages generated from the attachments. And actually you can combine all three in whatever combination you require, which will give you, at least with PDF-A3, the full range of options. For PDF-A2, the lower two would be possible, well, and for PDF-A1, only the last one applies. And as another extra, there are these two entries which actually lets you ignore specific attachment types by their file extension. So if you know you don't want to append any EXE files, or you don't want to append any CAD files such as DXF files or whatever, you can ignore them right away, so the PDF compressor doesn't even attempt any kind of conversion. The same, of course, holds for any kind of Office document. So if you want to exclude certain types of Office documents from the conversion, you can enter them here. The upper entry specifies types to completely ignore, where the lower one specifies types that should be ignored when converting to PDF. So actually, if you want to keep, say, sound files such as MP3 recordings, maybe originating from some voicemail system, you can keep them here. But of course, there is no use in trying to convert those to PDF-A. So they would only be considered when embedding original files. Okay? This is all going to be part of the 7.1 release, which will be the next minor release of PDF Compressor. And I hope the plethora of options available now has not confused you. Otherwise, of course, we are available for consultation, for guiding you through the process of setting up your specific conversion and help you testing everything and make sure you get just the kind of conversion that your archiving task at hand requires. Okay, so much for the presentation. Thomas, what did I forget?
No, this was very fine. Thank you. So the one question is, what if I only want to convert Office files? So I only want to have a few file types. So I think there's some option.
Well, as I said, if you just want to convert Office files, again, you have these entries here. As you see, you can...
No, I only want to, the question was only as attachments. So,
okay. Yeah. We do have, so far, we have these two entries implemented. The question was whether there is any kind of positive list of attachments to convert. We are pondering that. That would be a slight alteration before the upcoming release to actually switch that such that you can not only ignore certain types of files but also specify a list of positives, i.e. finite list of document types to convert. So if you only want to convert, say, doc and docx files for Microsoft Office Word, you could enter them here as well. We will probably change things to work like that. Thomas, do we have any further questions?
There's one regarding the performance, which is always difficult. So, but I want to mention we have some long-term customers like a bank, large bank, or a large logistics company. And just to give you an idea, they have approximately 40 to 50,000 mails per day, and they need a 4-core server in order to process those. But Armin can add, the rest is always quite individual and depending on the email.
Yes, you saw that already on my machine. To start things up in the first place, it can take a few seconds, and then we really also depend on the performance of the Office applications in converting the files in question, and actually really depend on the file's contents as well. So if you think about an Excel document where some complicated computation has to take place before any values are shown in the first place, that will of course also take place when converting to PDF, and that might slow things down a bit. So what we really recommend is if you have a concrete task at hand, get an evaluation copy of PDF Compressor, which we will happily provide, set it up and run a few tests in your actual work environment. We find that we depend on quite a few conditions such as file system throughput, etc., and probably it is always best to test with a sample set in your work environment to really determine what you can get from PDF Compressor. If you find that you have performance bottlenecks, we will of course happily assist in identifying and possibly eliminating them, but we can not always give reliable numbers for throughput, especially in these complicated scenarios where you have emails with attachments, some of which may need to be converted, others may not be able to, we may not be able to convert, and so on and so forth. And speaking of that, of course, PDF Compressor comes with error handling capabilities as well. It's out of the scope of this webinar to actually discuss this, but there are options available to circumvent or handle certain error scenarios when converting Office documents and emails.
Okay, thank you, Armin. So we had a Question. So I hope you got a good impression of how this can be done. Also the different flavors of PDFA, which gives a lot of functionalities. As Armin said, this needs an individual discussion what the best PDFA conversion is depending on your requirements. I hope this was not confusing, so I like to put it quite simple. So if you go for PDFA1, this is more the plain, and this is okay if you were more the pure archivist, I would say. My personal opinion, but I'm hopefully not alone, I think PDFA3 offers a lot of nice options to embed either the attachments or the complete thing. So those are interesting options which are available, and we're happy to discuss this with you in a detailed discussion project then. And obviously it needs to be integrated into the workflow. So Armin showed it, but just if you think of conversion, so Armin obviously showed the interactive steps, what you need, but when you put PDF Compressor into production, it really runs in the background as a server. So you have all your incoming or outgoing mails. You have the mail server, which is either Outlook or .enl, as we have seen in the demo, and all the mails and the attachments in the background are processed by PDF Compressor. PDFA files will be created and then go into the workflow, so where you and your employees process the email, talk to your business partner, exchange information, and at the end of the case of the process, they obviously go into the archive as saved PDFA files. So that's the principal setup here. Also to give you an idea of how the product is packaged, so those are the options, and LuraTech tries to be quite flexible here in order to meet your requirements and also the volume you have to handle. So I would like to start at the bottom where we have what we call the basic model. This I think is for email not so important, but this is one time. So if you have, for example, an email archive of 1 million mails or 1 million pages, so then you are able to license 1 million pages, use a conversion, or maybe it's a migration project, and then you're done. But the typical case, I think, is normally the ongoing thing where you have incoming mails, outgoing mails every day or on a day-to-day basis. And they will basically have the LuraTech PDF Compressor server in an unlimited fashion, so it's limited by core. So one CPU core can already convert a lot of emails per day, per year. And if you have higher volume because you have a large organization, then you can license more CPU cores, which gives you more throughput, more performance, and naturally this is also then more expensive. And for the smaller companies, so if you have 100,000 mails per year only, or maybe 500,000, then we have what we call the advanced model, which allows for smaller volume and is therefore also more cost effective. So we're coming to the end of our webinar, and we hope we could demonstrate you that PDFA is a good idea for archiving emails, for converting emails as important business documents to PDFA in order to have them saved in your workflows and in your archives where they are part of the customer folder, of the project folder. We try to cover some aspects, but hopefully this also gives you some ideas what else you have to think of if you start an email management project. So I always like to recommend think of policies, so that's quite important. That's what we learn from our customers which are doing email conversion already. So if possible, do not accept everything and try to convert. So it may be quite difficult and much too much effort. So as far as you can go, try to limit this. Talk on a, I don't know, Office formats, some special formats, PDFs obviously, which you want to handle as business documents, as email conversions. It should be integrated in your whole email management scenario and integrated with your ECM system. You may have other systems like ERP systems with SAP, for example, things like that, where you want to integrate, and obviously you want to give it from the complete archive point of view or from the back-end point of view. Then obviously it's a good idea to synchronize all the formats so you still have paper from digitization projects, from incoming digital mails, or not paper mail, sorry, where you have scanned documents, where PDFA is a good exercise and helpful format. You have your internal documents, which you can convert to PDFA, and also email. So more and more documents, important documents in your archive are long-term safe. If you want to test this afterwards, then Armin showed the version. As he said, this is not released yet, but will be available in May, and we're short before May, so it's just a matter of days or weeks. And please do not hesitate to contact us for more information, for discussing your project, and obviously for getting a test version of PDF Compressor with email conversion. That's what we wanted to demonstrate you, and well, we made it nearly in 45 minutes, so I will check with Armin whether there are any more questions.
No, as far as I can see, there are no further questions. So again, as mentioned before, if something comes to mind later on, don't hesitate to contact us. You can always get an evaluation copy, which with very few limitations is fully functional, so you can test your conversion task at hand with the actual software release. And if we close the webinar now, please take 1 or 2 minutes to answer our questionnaire.
Yes, thank you, Armin, and we would like to thank you for your attendance. Hope we stay in contact and discuss your PDFA needs, especially also with email. Yes, thank you and have a good day. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.